These are just Bostons. Daddy, do you know who my father is?
What? She's never cleaned the bathroom in her life.
All right.
Okay. We should jam sometime. I guess technically it is pretty much all of Heart Attack Kids.
Pretty
but
much.
we're not going to count Craig as a member right now.
Oh, fucking
We're
harsh.
just going to count Jared. We're just going to count.
Fucking rough stuff.
Craig, you introduce him because I'm not even going to try to say his last name because I don't know.
All right,
Hey,
my
actually,
boy.
my name is Jared Elull, a.k.a. Jerry, a.k.a. Big Beef.
Yeah, it is. I also would like you to know that I've already got a track ready for you on my Logic file for when you send me the wave. Craig, what's it titled?
It's literally called Big Beef.
It's titled
so
Big
good.
Beef.
Sick.
Now here's my goal. My goal for this whole episode, by the end of this episode, I'm going to ask you a question, and the question is going to be, Jared, are we friends? Don't answer it now because I don't think that we are. But by the end of this, I hope that we're friends.
Oh, rough. All right.
Starting
Starting off real rough
solid,
here.
Solid start, yeah.
But I want to ask you before we get into it. What's your least favorite thing about Craig?
Wow, what the hell?
It's rough, dude. There's a rift between the
I'm just getting it out of
Beatles.
the way. I'm just getting it out of the way.
I don't know. He's like tired a lot. Like that's not a bad thing because I'm exhausted all the time too. But
Yeah, I am tired a lot.
Carrying his ass in this band, right?
yeah,
Dude. Oh my God. I am tired. I work very hard. Okay.
wow.
Listen, I'm very small.
Yeah, Craig's tired. Haven't you heard? He's in Heart Attack Kids.
Yeah, dude. I'm kind of the fucking basis of Heart Attack Kids. So
That's like our whole band motto. It's like, yeah, I'm pretty tired, but all right, okay.
yeah.
It's like, all right, I guess we could do that. It's never like, dude, we should totally do that. It's never like we should totally jam sometime. It's always like, yeah, I guess we could.
Yeah, we could do that. Yeah, it's always. I guess.
I guess we'll jam.
I guess we could. I guess so.
Oh my. I'm not gonna ask you like what have you been doing during these trying times. You know?
Why not?
Yeah.
Because that's why would I ask you that? I know what your answer is. Just working and just writing lots of new songs.
Yeah, it's the same with every band right
Been
now.
watching
what we're all
some.
doing.
I've been watching some good shows.
Oh, what have you been watching?
I didn't pick any of them, but like, I'm watching them.
What have you been forced to watch?
Well, I'm not really forced. I'm just kind of sitting there. But like, Glee was on today.
Oh
Well, I've
wow.
never
We're watching
seen-
Glee.
I've never seen Glee before, and Glee was on today. And so,
What would your reaction to be if they want? I know it's not on anymore, but what if they wanted to do a Heart Attack Kid song on Glee? How would you feel about that?
dude, that'd be sick. Why not?
That would be
Really?
tight.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd be down.
Yeah,
They probably do it way better than we would.
What character would do the song? If you know the characters well enough by now.
No, I don't know. There was a guy with like a mohawk, and I feel like I could relate to him as a younger Jerry,
As an 8-bit ghost Jerry.
as a young lad Jerry. I could relate
As a
to
wee
that
youth
fellow.
Jerry.
That's
Yeah,
hilarious.
yeah,
Yeah.
that could be cool.
I didn't know if you had like a Dave Grohl rock and roll stance on it, where you just had like a
Yeah.
guttural
Glee
hatred for
sucks.
those shows. Yeah.
Oh, I feel like I don't have time to hate a TV show that much. Like, you could.
That's fair.
You could if you want.
Yeah, you would need a lot of time on your hands, to like passionately be like, fuck Glee.
Yeah. Like, I don't wake up in the morning and sit there and be like, you know what I fucking hate today? Glee.
That's
like, like before you have your coffee or anything, you just sit up in bed.
Just
And
festering.
that's your first thought in your whole day. You're just like, yo, fuck Glee. Yeah. And then you're like, all right, I'm going to go get some coffee now. Like, no, I don't think anybody does that.
All right, now I can start my day, I guess.
That's like a revenge story waiting to happen. That's what people who want revenge on other people do. They wake up in the morning and they're like, yeah, I haven't had my coffee yet. And they just stare at their feet for a second. And they're like, yo, fuck that. Fuck whoever did that to me.
Yeah,
And then they
for
go
real.
on with their day and they're like,
Super
one day
villains.
that guy's going to get it. Not today. Maybe not tomorrow. But every day I wake up, I'm going to say that.
Oh man.
Jesus.
Yeah, I never got into Glee, but my only gripe with it was I grew up in this small town, and I was like one of the 4 music guys, and it's just one of those things where it's like, you must love Glee, eh?
Yeah.
It's like, fucking no, why? Because
No,
I
dude.
have a guitar? Like, no.
I mean, I grew up in St. Thomas, and it was the same, but it was like High School Musical was the thing.
Right.
People were like, I never watched High School Musical. Like, I know there's the one guy, and his name is Troy, I think.
Yeah.
Right.
And they all
Yeah.
have matching red jackets. But the only reason
his
why I like
name.
sort of remember, yeah,
They all
fuck
had matching
with it.
red jackets, and I'm pretty sure there was 3 movies.
there
my
are
sister
3.
had them on DVD.
The
Yeah.
third one made it in theaters, bruh.
Yeah.
it was like
I
Star
remember
Wars,
actually-
the originals, but like there's no red jackets and there's not a lot of singing.
Yeah. It's basically like a healthy combo of Star Trek, Star Wars, and Mamma Mia.
I remember.
It's kind of like Lord of the Rings, except for different costumes. You know, like it's a trilogy. It's a trilogy.
Who's Gollum?
Oh man, yeah. I think I can't remember what grade I would have been in when High School Musical was a thing. Like maybe like 6 or 7 or something.
Yeah,
But I
probably.
remember like like the iPod Touch was real popular around then, and we got a hold of my buddy Tyler's iPod, and
yeah.
we're like, why you got all this High School Musical stuff on here, Tyler? And he's like, shut up, guys. My sister takes my iPod all
Yo,
the
I
time.
totally knew he was gonna say that.
Full of shit.
We're like,
Full of
okay,
shit.
Tyler.
That's
Guys,
like when I had
I have to
Avril
share an
on my
iPod. Yeah.
Yeah, it sucks, man.
Yeah.
These are expensive. We all have to share them.
It's true though. Like if you haven't had to share an iPod with a sibling, like you're doing pretty well. Like you're ahead.
Yeah.
That
Because
is
like when
true,
you
dude.
do, like there's like set hours, and then there's also like there's that moment where you don't want anyone to touch your iPod because that
yeah.
one friend's gonna go through and they'll be like, "Yo, why do you have the complete discography of Nickelback on here?"
It's for research purposes.
Yeah,
Okay.
because I hate them. And that's why I listen
Yeah.
to it, because I hate them.
I fester before I have my coffee.
I wake up every morning and I look at my feet.
Oh man, dude, I remember when my brother's 5 years older than me, and when he was 13, his graduation gift was a 500 megabyte MP3 player.
Damn,
Isn't
and
that
that was
crazy?
a big
Yeah,
deal.
yeah. And it's like now, like iPods don't even exist.
Yeah,
Nah,
it's
dude,
true.
like,
That's
I
kind
had
of
an
fucked
MP3
up.
player back in the day, and it was called iBulldog, and that shit was cool because I had 2 jacks in it, so like I could
Oh
listen
shit!
to
So you could headphone share.
So like you could headphone share, but like then headphones weren't that long either. So like you'd be sitting there on the bus, and they'd be like, "Yo, can I listen to your iPod too, or your MP3 player?" And you'd be like, "Yeah, man, for sure." And then you end up standing there like this. You guys can't see it, but like you're standing there holding the MP3 player in between the aisles. So that both the headphones can reach.
Just
and you're
so
like,
awkward.
you're like, yo,
And
cool,
you gotta like
man.
switch arms after a while because your arm gets so
Yeah.
tired.
Yeah, you're like, bro, can you hold it for a little bit? He's like, nah, man, like I hurt my arm. And you're like, cool, this is gonna be a really fun
bro,
2
my elbow
hours to
hurts.
Toronto.
Oh fuck!
Oh man,
I can't
dude,
wait to go
miss
to the
them.
ROM with a sore arm. Like,
The ROM. Oh fuck! What was the name of your first MP3 player, Caleb?
I don't remember. You know what though? It was. I remember I liking it because it was like an iPod, but it was
has
like an
scroll
MP.
wheel
It had a
and shit?
scroll wheel and stuff. Yeah.
oh, that's pretty
I
I
had
don't
a-
remember what.
I had a
that's pretty-
Sansa, and it was like 2 gigs, and I was like, my sister and I both got them. They were like in like the impossible to open plastic containers from
Yeah.
Costco, and we were so stoked about them. And like I immediately got FrostWire and got like 7 Nation Army, and
Yeah,
shit
yeah.
like that,
Yeah.
fucking Everclear, and then. Like maybe 2 weeks later, my dad comes home with the fucking better one for himself. What a piece of shit. For real. Dave, what the hell, bro?
your dad was probably
And
like,
that one
yo,
had a
I
scroll
won
wheel
it
on
from
it.
work.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, fucking whatever, Dad. He wound up, he came home with that, and then he had like armbands that you could use for like working out and shit. And I was like, why do you get all the accessories?
Yeah.
And I just stuck
How come
with the
I didn't get an
fucking.
accessory?
I
How
just
come,
get like the battery powered one. Fucking what an asshole.
Why didn't Santa bring me all the accessories?
Yeah.
What's up with that? Yeah,
Maybe
my
if he
dad
brought home a
still
good report
uses
card.
an MP3 player, and we were at the cottage last week, and he was like, "Yeah, I just like burned all my CDs and put them on." I'm like, "Why? Why? You have 2 cell phones.
Yeah.
Why don't you have a streaming service? What the hell? What are you burning CDs for?"
He's like, yo, I got to get my gold earring on here. Radar Love, you know? Yo, I
He's
actually
like,
had that on my MP3 player, and I listened to it like all the time. And I one time was listening to it in French class. And my French teacher like walked up behind me and he's just like, Radar Love.
Creepy.
Don't do
And then the
that.
rest of the class, he was like, bum 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 bum.
It's so nice to see these young kids get
Yeah.
into the classics.
Yeah.
Because something that Craig and I talk a lot about on and off of the podcast is like people, like bands enlisting help and stuff like that, like in terms of like managers, and like obviously you guys are signed and have like a booking agent and stuff.
Yeah.
And like that's something we talk about a lot, because I know friends of mine or whatever that are like, we just need like a manager, and it's like, why? You played 12 shows and put out like a couple songs, like what are you talking about? You know? And those are guys that like I find the people that say they need the help or whatever are guys that aren't willing to like go get their hands dirty and actually do it themselves. But like, I guess my question is like, I don't know exactly what your experience was, but like what would maybe even be like advice, or what's sort of like your outlook on when it's time to maybe start looking outside the band for help?
Okay. Sorry. Well, I would say that management would be the last thing anybody will want.
Yeah.
And that's just my experience. And like we just said to anybody who is listening, it's everybody has a different path. You might get a manager first and they make your whole career, or they help you build your whole career. But in my experience, I find that having help once you are like overloaded, that's the time. It's like, so with Heart Attack Kids, I was writing the music, booking all of the shows, and we were doing like 200 shows a year, and doing the shows and going to all of them and playing and do like you don't. It's like a nonstop thing, and eventually you get to a point where you start to pique interest of other people, like record labels, and usually it's you start to pique those people's interest because lots of people are talking about your band, or like someone has gone out to your show and seen your band, most likely in Toronto or somewhere else, and someone has told someone in Toronto about your band, and those people go and see. But I always find it's like no one cares about your band as much as what you do. So
Right.
if you put 110% into it, you're gonna see like results eventually. And I find like when you're talking about when is the time to ask for help, I think it's important for bands to kind of like keep track of where they're at, you know, like sometimes it's good to just like, I do this a lot too, and like kind of sit back and reflect and say, okay, we did these shows and they did really well. What can we, and then we did these other shows in this other week and they didn't do so well. So what do we need to do to make those better? Or what do we need to do to make this single do better? And I think the more work that you put into things, like the more people see it, and then the more people start reaching out. But no one wants to reach out if they don't feel like you're in it for the long haul and you're in it to like do it. So the time to start accepting help, I think, is when somebody tells you they can do something that you can't do yourself, or if you're feeling like I'm overloaded with this workload and things are coming in, then I feel like it's time to do that. Like when we were really young, we put out No Future. And that was in 2016. So I would have been like, what is it, 2020 now? Jesus. I would have been around 21. I would have been 2021 when that came out. And like we talked with that record label for a year before we signed anything. Because we were trying to figure out, like, can these people do things that we can't do? And they could. So we signed with them. And they put our record out, and it was great. And those, like, everybody who worked there was awesome. And then you kind of go on from there. Like, and I feel like you're always trying to build your brand, and you're trying to build it's like bands are brands basically now.
Yeah.
So I think it's time you're asking people, it's time when you're like, I can't I can't handle all of this and people are knocking, then I think that's a good time to start letting people in, kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, totally.
I had a
Right.
very
It's all
hard
about
time about that too. Like I had a very hard time when like you do it for so long and you're like, I'm doing all of this stuff. And then it almost becomes like your baby because you don't want anyone else to touch it.
Yeah.
And you still have your hands on it. And eventually you kind of have to like, I got to take your hands off some stuff because you can't do everything all the time.
Yeah.
Which it
Gets to
turns
be too
into
much.
sometimes. It kind of turns into a 24/7 thing to build something like that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you and I are like probably similar in that sense that like I do most of all that shit, and like booking shows I find is like super. I always say like, man, the day that we can get a booking agent will be amazing. Like whenever that day comes.
Yeah.
Because I hate doing if there's one thing I hate about doing any of that stuff, it's just the stress of trying to book shows all the time.
sending
Especially when
emails.
you're a nobody band and you're like booking shows for the first couple times in new cities. It's like, yeah, we're probably not going to bring anybody to the show, but we're certainly going to try.
Yeah.
And like, just can you please please let us play the show, and we're going to try to figure it out. There's 3 people I went to high school with that are in that city. I'm going to do my best to get them out there.
Yeah, and I mean that's kind of like what it takes, and like bands that I admire, like they kind of, when I would ask them about things like when did you start like getting there and like making money and like having these shows where you could show up and like, you know, people know who you are, and they were like, it was around the 10-year mark. We like went for so long. And it, you know, it's funny because it's like you were talking about the agent and stuff, and it's like I found I had a hard time with that. I had a hard time with transit because Sarah Litt from Pack In is our agent, and I had a hard time, and like I've known Sarah for a really long time. Like we have known each other probably for about 5 years or so, and I had a hard time like giving up the reins to her because I'd still have people reaching out to me being like, hey, we're going to book your band. And then it like kind of gets a little bit weird where you're like, yeah, but you know, like definitely that sounds great, but we need to go through like this avenue now. And they're like, oh, well, how come I can't go through you? So like you kind of go through this weird transition, but I feel like agents need to make money too. So that's why when people are like, how do I get an agent? How do I do this? It's like at that point where we had agreed that it was going to be mutually beneficial for our agent to book our band, we were making money. Like we had that was the first date of the Cancer Bats tour. You know, we just played the Phoenix. The Phoenix was sold out. Like, and like, obviously we didn't sell it out, but like we were getting, you know, like we were getting these slots that were in these rooms, which, you know, helps build your band more than anything. I find like it's like you could go 2 ways about it. It's like getting these huge support slots or like building your internet presence, or if you want to do both, then you're probably golden. But it's, you know, it's hard to find agents too, because there's really not a lot of them. You know, it's like if you talk to your favorite band is probably has the same agent as your second favorite band, as your third favorite band. Like it's, you know, there's these agencies like Pack In or Feldman or, what's the other one? Can't think of it right now. But like
APA is the big one.
Yeah, there's like a whole bunch of them, right? But like realistically, there's like 10 people there. And like how many bands are on the roster? And then you look through there and you're like, oh, cool. Sheepdogs and this other band and this other band and this other band, they all have the same agent. And you're like, oh, okay, that makes sense now, kind of thing. So it's, you know, it's not, I'm not trying to say that it's competitive, but I am trying to say that it's like every it's like slim pickings of money sometimes. And it's, you know, you're trying to make money, and they're trying to make money because they have a job that they like to do and they want to be able to keep doing it. So I think if you want to get an agent, I think you just need to build your band and build your brand as much as you possibly can. And and like when you look like you are starting to make money, or you look like you are working on stuff that will interest them, that they can put you on the right rosters and stuff. I think that's a great way to do that. And you know what? Like, they're people too. I think it's like, it's totally fine to reach out to people. I always think it's funny when people are like, oh, I'm like really nervous to send my music to Dine Alone, or I'm really nervous to send my music to this agent because I'm not sure if we're there yet or not. But it's like, who cares? Just send your stuff.
Yeah, just do it.
Like,
Yeah.
what's the worst that's gonna happen? The absolute worst thing they're gonna say is you're terrible, and no.
Yeah.
And
then
most
you just
people
go,
don't
"Nah,
even
nah."
say that you're terrible, or they don't say anything. They just respectfully decline, and it's fine. Or they don't answer, and
They
that's
just don't
fine too,
answer.
I guess. You know.
Yeah, for real.
I remember I was talking to Steven DeCantis from Ready the Prince one time, and he was like, yeah, man, like, you can send stuff out and just be like, yeah, like, we're just looking to maybe add people to the team or whatever, but like, he's like, in worst case, they're like gonna tell you to fuck off or not answer you. And he's like, and like, even if sometimes they'll be like, yeah, you know what, like, maybe we're interested, but like, we need to see like this and this first or whatever. Which is like also something Kevin told me from Crownlands, was like they had agencies coming to them and being like, not yet, but if we can see this stuff from you guys, then like we'd be interested in talking.
Right.
Yeah, they'll give you pointers. Like, Kevin and I have talked about it a couple times, like before they had started to I guess blow up. Like, we played a sold out show with them and Cleopatra, and like, looking back on it now, it's like, oh, that was pretty wild that like,
Yeah, it's a crazy bill.
these two, it was like Hack, Cleopatra, and Crownlands. I'm like, oh man, that was fucking nuts though. But like those Cleo guys are super nice dudes. Kevin and Cody are super nice dudes. Like, and they just reached out to people. Oh, I don't know about Cleopatra. Like, I don't know them as well, but they're super nice guys. But it's like Kevin and Cody, we were chatting about it, and they're like, yeah, we just reached out to the One Bad Son guy, and he liked us, and off they go. Like, don't quote me or anything, but that's what we talked about. And, and then they started opening up for Jack White. So I guess, it's, at the end of the day, it's just send your stuff out, reach out. Most people will give you pointers if they like you.
Take the lead.
So I always tell the story of the first time I saw Crownlands was they were playing at the Grinning Gator. And they opened a show at the Grinning Gator. I'm not going to say the bands they opened for. Maybe after we stop recording. They had no business opening this show. And then 2 years, about the same time, because it was a Halloween show, 2 years later, they announced that Jack White tour. And I was like, fucking the dream is alive. Like, that's wild.
It can happen.
Like, anything is possible.
If you guys want to have a conversation about those guys, I think those guys picked the right path and picked they were just the right time, right place type thing. Like Greta Van Fleet a couple of years ago was huge. Those guys were doing they were doing a similar styled music.
Yeah.
And it caught on right away. And it's right. This is the right sound at the right time.
Yeah. We
talked to the right people. We reached out. And look where they are now. They're doing great. They're signing Universal. That's amazing.
Well, like Glorious Sons they played, I think it was like 2009 or something, and they played at APK Live here in London to like 20 people.
Damn.
And then 2 years later to the day, they opened for the Rolling Stones in Paris.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
But
it's totally possible.
Yeah, it's just hard work. It's just putting in the work and like, what sucks about it right now is like with COVID and everything, like putting in the work is tough. And it's also kind of like, you're like, is it worth it? Like, is it?
Yeah.
I think right now is a great time to like write music and like try to write stuff that's like a little bit deeper than what you normally would. Like, especially with, you can't really write quarantine songs because a lot of people are gonna do that. And it's kind of one of those things also where it's kind of like, I don't think anybody needs to say this, but I don't really need to hear about how you're stuck in your house because I am too. Like, fuck.
Right.
So.
You're shitting on my song here, Jerry.
So
Oh man.
it's fine
Yeah.
though. Like if you want to write that, that's cool. Like it's totally fine. But like I think it's like I wrote this one song the other day and it was called Brothers, and I wrote it about being bullied when I was in public school. I had this weird dream where I was like, in my dream I was in the field that in my public school, and like we had gotten in a fight, and at the end of my dream, like he basically like ate me alive.
Jesus.
And I like woke up right then after that, and I was like all sweaty
Jesus.
and stuff. And then the next day I was like sitting at my desk at my apartment writing, working, and then I started writing the song. And then I was just like, oh, this is probably like one of the deepest things I've written, because I don't feel any pressure to write this.
Right.
It's just like I just wrote this, and it feels right. Like it feels natural to write this. That's not the right word. Genuine. It felt more genuine because I was writing it about something that happened to me, and like a raw feeling that happened to me. And I feel like if people can tap into that right now, because it's hard. It's like a hard time right now. That's what's going on. And like, we have these protests and Black Lives Matters, and we're trying to defund the police, which everyone should be supporting both of those things. And like, we have this pandemic going on, and things are starting to lift, but they're saying like we're going to go back into it. I think this is a great time to reflect and try and dig deeper in yourself with your music. And I think you'd be surprised what you come out with,
Dude, that was very profound.
You're fucking heavy on this, bro.
Sorry, we can.
Well, that's
sorry,
fucking.
guys.
No,
that
don't be
was
sorry.
I was like, I could respond to all of that, but
Yeah,
that was
no,
like
that's
a perfect
great.
note to like kind of bring her to a close.
So we have listener questions for
we
you.
do.
Oh yeah, I love that.
You can make them rapid fire. You can take your time on them, whatever, because we have a few.
Yeah, let's answer them. Let's get in
fuck
deep.
yeah.
All right.
Okay, this is a fun one, I think, to get into it.
All right.
'Cause it's by our very good friend Mark Swan.
Yeah.
Now, it just says, all he said was favorite riff. Now, I don't know if he meant like favorite Heart Attack Kids riff, but I thought it would be fun to be like, if we all said what our favorite riff was. So I don't know who wants to start. I don't know if you got one on Locked and Loaded.
You got one off the top of the dome there, Jerry?
Yeah, the first one that comes to my head, honestly, is Lay Down by Priestess.
Oh,
Nice.
Interesting.
Nice.
That's the first
That's a
one that
good
comes to
choice.
my head, because I think whenever I'm in a guitar store and I pick it up, the first thing I do is like, and then I'm like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, this is a pretty sick guitar.
Yeah. Oh, this guitar can play Lay Down? Sick.
That's
Do the rest of
awesome.
the song,
Just wait
sir?
till you pick up a bass and you can play it too. You'll be
Yeah.
like, holy shit. Dude, I'm a bassist.
Yeah, I think that'd be pretty gnarly.
Don't do it though, because then I'm not needed anymore.
Oh man, what do you got? What's your favorite riffs? What's the deal?
Right off the top of the dome is Riff Raff by AC/DC, man.
That's a good
That's
one.
my fucking, yeah, that's my number one for sure. And
Nice.
it's the same deal. Anytime I pick up a guitar, it's the first thing. That's the first riff that comes to mind. And like, I feel bad. It's like, it's one of those guitar store riffs where you're like, you sit down, you're like, oh yeah, I can play this guitar. I can play this riff on every guitar in the store. But then like you finish playing the riff and you're like, I don't know any more guitar stuff.
That's like the one. That's like one of those riffs where it's like, all the guys in the guitar store, they're not gonna say anything, but there's the one guy who's like back in rentals and he's just like, fuck.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go like local, semi-local for mine.
Okay.
Oh,
Dude,
nice.
one of the best guitar riffs of all time is by my favorite band, Plants, from Stratford, Ontario.
Oh, Brad.
And,
Nice.
Yeah, dude, Brad. That's actually one of the
Nice.
questions. is about Brad.
Yeah.
But their song Impaler is such a rip and riff.
Oh, that's cool.
It's
I'm gonna have
so
to look
sick.
that up.
Oh yeah, dude, that EP is so good. But listen to Impaler, it's so heavy.
That's sick.
yeah.
I actually
So
just
fucking
I bought an amp off Brad, and that's how we.
You're reading out the next question already, Jared.
So
okay,
Max,
sorry.
so Max from Plinth just sent in, how's he liking the orange head from Brad?
Oh, I love it. I'm using it on like all of our stuff. Like we put out a home recording of a new song called Heart Attack Kid. Just kind of
Yep.
funny because it's like our band name, but like fucking
Right.
whatever.
Yeah. Well, it was funny because I walked in to start the podcast and I was like, oh, we put out our quarantine today, and Kid was like, oh yeah, and I went, yeah, Jared was listening to a lot of D-Boy, so we had to do a self-title song.
D-Boy's sick, man.
D-Boy fucks for sure.
D-Boy's awesome. D-Boy's from Russia.
fuck
And they're
heavy.
awesome. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, man,
All
for
right.
sure. Yeah, I love the orange. I think like it's weird because I'm definitely one of those guys that like likes to switch up gear like a lot.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
like I always have like a sound in my head for sure, and like it's hard to get it, but like I've been really like hitting it down with this orange head, and I think maybe this is my first ever orange head ever, so I think it's here to stay.
Yeah, those
Yeah.
guys. If you actually haven't listened to Plants, I think you'll be into it. Those guys got mad
When I did
tones.
meet Brad, I listened to one song, but now that you're saying that, I'm gonna have to listen to all of it. Definitely.
Yeah, dude,
Yeah.
it's good stuff. They
Oh,
got
yeah.
they have a live session on Spotify and then like an EP. We played like a random show in Waterloo with them at Harmony Lunch like a year and
Oh,
a half.
I
or 2
love
years
Harmony
ago.
Lunch. Harmony
Yeah,
Lunch
man.
is so sick.
Did they not just shut down? Too?
Yeah, I think
No,
I
they're
saw
reopening.
somebody's reopening it as like a
Oh.
vintage
Yeah.
video game
They're
spot.
gonna
Nice.
reopen.
Fuck yeah.
But we just played a random gig with them, and we were like, and like the two other bands on the bill were like pretty whatever. So like we started chatting, and then like we did a whole Montreal rip with them last summer.
Oh, damn.
Those guys are fucking really good.
That's awesome.
Yeah, man. We got two more for
All
you.
right. All right.
So this one, this is by his Instagram account is Main Mitch.
Okay.
Now he asked two. They're both song writing related, but the second one is like the more interesting one. So
Sweet.
it's how many times would you say that you rewrite a song from like conception, to finish? So basically,
So am I like
guess-
rewriting the whole song, or am I rewriting like parts
don't
of
know.
it?
I guess that just how much. I
Yeah.
guess how much like
How many
reworking
revisions?
does it go through? Yeah, on
So-
average.
I find that
generally.
like when I write a song initially, I never stick with exactly what's there. You're always, it's like you're your own editor almost. Like you go back, and I'm definitely one of those guys too that lets I'm like, okay, cool. I'm gonna write this whole song in 5 minutes, but then I'm gonna leave it for a week, and then I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna edit the crap out of it and like rework it. And I always find there's like, I was reading something about CJ Ramone. He was talking about one of the other Ramones, and they were saying like, when you're writing a song, every line needs to be impactful. And I find like, it's like I try to make it, so I try to do that. Like I try to make every line impactful, but I also try to make the verses almost like a chorus too, unless we're like building to something big. But yeah, you never start with something and then you also end with the same thing. You're always like reworking it too.
Nice.
Fuck yeah.
Nice. All right, this is a fun one.
Wait, hang on. What was
So-
his other question?
Oh, the other question was just you basically answered it. It was what's your writing process look like?
Oh, that's different though.
Okay.
So different.
I thought his I thought it was almost like an amendment to his question.
No.
But okay.
It's kind of like different now. It used to be like in a jam space, when like it was just Nate and I, like we would just like jam, and then I'd be like, cool guitar riff. I'm gonna yell over this now, and then I'd start writing down when I was like sing/yelling, and then go home and work on it, come back the next time and do it like that. And now I'm finding like I write a lot of guitar and have a hard time with words during this year of 2020. So I'll basically like write a whole song musically, and like the three of us work on it, and then I'll write the words after. And like I actually have found that is a better way to like if you once you take the guitar out of your hand, it's a way better way to write a melody vocally.
Mm-hmm.
Because
sure.
you're not guitar brain at that point. And that was something I learned from Liam when we were working with him on Bad Luck. He was like, all right, let's take away the guitar now. I'm like, let's figure this out. And that was definitely something everyone should do at some point. Just throw the guitar in the closet and just try to write. You're a singer now. You sing.
Yeah.
You sing.
Yeah.
What is the melody? Tell me. Sing the song.
Tell me, maestro.
I
Let's just
totally
sing.
find that like when the switch in Lost Arts, when I like stopped playing guitar altogether in the band, and like even now when I'm like just writing songs for shits or whatever, like it's a totally different ball game between having the guitar in your hands and then like cool, like I have this demo now that the guys put together and like I've got to like write stuff over it. It's way more freeing, I find.
Yeah, and it's also like I find sometimes I end up singing the guitar melody because I'm so ingrained with it unless I stop. And I file
For sure.
Yeah, it's a great way to do it.
Definitely.
Show me all your music. Show me all your new music.
All right. Okay, so if you could draft your dream show, what would the bill be?
Oh my god.
Let's do 3 bands or 4 band bill tops.
4 band. And I guess like
So am I playing the show or like am I?
You can.
making it?
Actually, we'll make that a separate one because I also this is similar to a question that I usually ask.
Yeah.
So
okay.
right now it's just open to close. So like do it in order, I guess, because he wants to know who headlines.
Right.
What would like the 4 band bill be?
Are they dead or are they alive?
I think it's a dream bill. So any band,
Yeah.
living or dead.
I would say for one, somebody or one of Jack White's bands. Actually, fuck it, White Stripes. I want White Stripes to play this show.
Yeah. Come on.
Yeah, White Stripes is sick. Like, I don't care. Everyone can talk whatever about Meg White. She's perfect for that band.
She's great.
Much
So
love.
wait, but is that your opener though? Because that's a hard opener.
No. Like that's. Hang on. I'm gonna say the bands, and then we're gonna switch them. We're gonna switch a room.
Okay,
All
that's
right.
good. That's good.
All right. I think Queens
That'd
has
be
to be in there. Like
crazy
Queens of the
opener.
Stone Age definitely has to
Totally.
be in there.
Okay.
Because, like, they're very influential for me.
Totally. What's the best Queens of the Stone Age album? Quick side note.
Rapid fire off the top of the dome.
It's like unpopular opinion, but I fucking really like Villains. Really like
Villains is the number 1.
Wow,
I don't know.
that's
Okay.
interesting.
Hang on. It's either Villains or it's Song for the Deaf.
Yeah, well,
Okay.
Songs for the Deaf is an easy pick. I usually go Like Clockwork because that was like I got into Queens of the Stone Age 4 months before they announced the comeback.
Yeah.
So it was like right before I would be a bandwagoner. I was like, holy fuck, this is like the greatest band of all time. And then they were like, Queens of the Stone Age first album in 7 years, and I was like, wow, this is hella convenient.
Yeah, no doubt.
This band right now. So
I
like,
do have to
I have
say,
like a
though-
special place in my heart for Like Clockwork.
I do have to say, when I did get into Queens of the Stone Age, Era Vulgaris was the record that got me into Queens of
Yeah.
the Stone Age,
was
because I
the
remember
big one.
getting Much Music Party Mix 8 or some bullshit. And
yeah,
it
and
had
666 was on it.
No, it had 3s and 7s on it.
Oh,
And I was like,
shit, okay.
It was like 3s and 7s, and then Paralyzer by like a Finger 11.
Finger
came on
11,
right
bro. Dude, that shit fucks. That fucking riff. Come on. Dude, fire me up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That was
dude,
pretty
I remember.
funny.
So, quick side note about Queens of the Stone Age. I remember discovering them when they were on Much on Demand, and Josh
damn.
Homme was talking about his inspiration for Make It With You, and he was just like, "Yeah, I'm just like a huge Johnny Cash fan," and I just went like, "I fucking like this guy," and then I looked them up, and I was like, "Dude, this fucks." And then
Hell
like
yeah.
maybe 2 years later, I met Harry, and he showed me Caius, and I was just like,
That's
"Okay, Josh
awesome.
Homme's the best."
Yeah, he's the
I
dude.
like Josh Homme a lot. I think
Yeah, he's the best.
I don't know if we would get along if we hung out. I feel like we might.
You
but like,
don't do enough drugs to hang out with Josh Homme.
No, I don't think so. I don't think I'm like. I don't know, because I've heard that he's like kind of an asshole.
Yeah,
But
you're
I've
too good of
also
a
heard-
person.
Yeah, maybe that's it. I don't know. It's like I
I
like.
think It might be situational.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. I always thought like if I saw him somewhere, I don't even know if I'd go up to him, because I wouldn't want to just have like a public like,
You
hey
just say
man,
hey.
like what the fuck's going on? You know
Hey,
what
Josh,
I
you
mean?
just say,
Like
"Hey,
that's
Josh."
where you're really setting yourself up for like fuck off. But if it's like an actual maybe like music situation, you might actually have a good time.
I feel like if I'm fucked up in the desert and like he was there, I would definitely like be like, "Yo, what up?" But like other than that, like I don't
You have
know.
to be like peyote fucked up in the desert, though.
If you were
or,
like, hey, the desert's sick.
mescaline fucked up in the desert,
You'd be like,
that guy's crazy.
Yeah. You'd be like, Joshua Tree, eh?
Yeah.
Rancho Del Luna. Yeah, that's pretty cool, eh?
Dude, what's really great about this studio is it's not supposed to be good, and that's what makes it so great. You'd be like, I like you. You should.
We
come
actually
here.
record all the guitars in the bathtub, so it's fucking fine.
Took a bunch of acid. We played. We hung upside down from the shower curtain.
Yeah.
Okay.
We got all
Fucking
fucked up,
weirdo.
and all of a sudden, Arctic Monkeys made AM here for some reason.
All right, so band number 3.
Yes, we got Jack White, Queens of the Stone Age.
Damn.
This is a great bill so far.
This priest is showing up and playing "Lay Down" 7
They
times.
just play the intro to lay down, and then they leave.
all day.
You know what? The Hives are gonna play. They're playing this. show.
wow.
Nice. That's a
Okay.
good
The Hives
call.
are playing this show.
Fuck yeah.
The Hives are gonna be my opener though, because
Okay.
I know that they're not like. The Hives are like one of my faves, but they're not like a legendary status yet. I think like they will be after.
Okay.
So I feel like I gotta pick like a legendary band now after, which is
Well,
either
I'm gonna tell
be-
you. I'm gonna tell you, Queens of the Stone Age have like a 3-hour set. So if they're not headlining, we're in for a long show.
That's true. Well, I was gonna say like either Led Zeppelin or I probably would say Black Sabbath, but I'm gonna time warp.
Sabbath, dude.
No, fuck it. You know what? It's either gonna be Black Sabbath, but Black Sabbath better be like at their fucking prime. 'Cause
Yeah,
I saw
like 1975
Black
Sabbath.
I saw Black Sabbath at JLC, and I gotta say, I didn't understand a goddamn thing Ozzy said.
Yeah, I saw him a couple years ago, and I was like,
Yeah.
this is kind of sick.
And I was like,
This is
yo.
all right. I heard
who's-
that he can still sing though.
Yeah. Well, I was like, who's Rainwolf? Rainwolf's pretty cool because he opened that show, and I was just like,
Oh yeah,
How do
yeah.
I think Rival Sons opened the show I saw.
oh.
Okay.
Yeah, it wasn't
How do you
Rainbow.
like? How do you? That's what I want to know. I was like, I want to know how those guys were like. Yeah, so my agent submitted for Black Sabbath, and then they were like, but then we got it.
That's so crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey guys, so we're gonna open for fucking Black Sabbath.
Yeah.
Dude, there's so much fuzz on this bill right now.
Yeah, for real.
It's just all fuzz.
You should see Jerry's fucking pedal board, man.
I bet.
I'm
Okay,
trying to
so
s-
is the was Black Sabbath like a final pick? Or are you still debating on the?
Oh, I had somebody else.
'Cause-
Either Black Sabbath. Oh, Nirvana. Either Black Sabbath at their
interesting.
prime or Nirvana.
Okay.
Like
If you had to pick between the two, which would it be,
1993
Well, I mean, see,
Nirvana.
I've seen Black Sabbath, so I've got to go Nirvana.
Gotta go Nirvana. Yeah.
I'm probably gonna go
You gotta-
Nirvana to be honest, because I feel like
Okay.
they would be. So
Interesting.
my pick would be like, I think this bill would start like Hives, Hives, White Stripes, Queens of the Stone Age, and then Nirvana.
Yeah, that's a
Okay.
good bill.
Do you have one that's been festering in your head? Rapid fire. I've got one I could
Me?
rapid fire.
Okay, well, my usual last question is actually it's usually a two-parter, but the first one is very similar to what you just did, but just any band, I guess like living
Yeah.
right now that you would want Hard Attack Kids to open for, who would it be?
Probably the Hives.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty dope.
Or
And
Foo
then
Fighters,
this-
or Queens or Foo Fighters. Like I like. Honestly,
Dude, Foo
I just
Fighters
want to
would be so
like.
sick.
Foo Fighters would be so sick.
Dude,
There'd be
let's
so many
email Dave
Coors
Grohl.
Lights. Yeah.
right now.
Honestly,
That would
I
be
just
sick.
want to like. I just want to like hang out with Dave Grohl for like
Yeah.
7 minutes.
Yeah.
Like I don't
Yeah,
care
I'll
if
crush
he's
some Bud Lights
longer
with him.
than that or not. Like that's fine. But like I feel like we could just, he's one of those guys that'd be like, yeah, man, and then he'd chew bubble gum for a minute, and he'd be like,
Yeah.
yeah, that's cool, and I'd be like, yeah, you know what, Dave,
We're best
It is
friends.
cool.
Yeah.
It is cool.
He would be the opposite of Josh. I think no matter where you met Dave Grohl, you would it would be a good experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel
Well,
like
that's-
it's,
I think-
like even if you met Josh Homme in the desert and you were just like, "Yo, can you help me out?" and be like, "Fuck, fine, I guess."
Yeah. There's a photo of fucking like
He'd be
it's
like,
Josh
that way
Homme,
to
Dave
town,
Grohl.
7 miles. Like, I don't know.
There's a photo of Josh Homme, Dave Grohl, and fucking Jesse Hughes like all in a hot tub or some shit, and
dude.
Dave Grohl looks not down. Like I feel like Dave Grohl would just be like, dude, these two are fucking nuts. You know?
Well, so what I've heard is I've heard Josh Homme and Dave Grohl are like best buds. I've heard
They're
like
buds
really
for sure.
good friends.
It's Jesse Hughes is a fucking madman,
Yeah.
right? So
So I like his like. When I see a picture of Jesse Hughes, I'm like, that guy's cool. And
Fuck
then
yeah.
until
Yeah,
he
yeah.
like talks,
speaks,
and then I'm
yeah.
like,
for sure.
I'm like, yo, no, actually,
yeah.
not so much
Lately,
anymore.
anyway.
yeah.
like old Jesse Hughes interviews and like that fucking the movie for
Yeah.
Death by Sexy is fucking great.
Yeah.
But
Sure.
yeah, like lately he's just been fucking just losing it.
That's the best comedy movie of all time.
It
and
is the
nobody's seen
greatest,
it.
the greatest comedy, the mockumentary ever. So
I wouldn't even
good.
be surprised if Jesse Hughes is just like, yo, I'm fucking running for president. Fuck Kanye. Like,
Dude,
I'm doing
fuck
this
yeah.
now.
Yeah.
He's just
Dude.
like, everybody
Honestly,
gets
man,
electric
I'd
boots.
fucking vote for him. I don't
Let's,
care.
yeah.
I'll vote for him.
Make America.
Everyone
boost
open
electric
carry.
again.
Nah, man, I
Oh
can't
my
vote. I can't vote for him because he'll be like one of those guys who's just like, if you vote for me, every American gets a free gun, and you'll be like,
Dude,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, I want free guns, dude. Everyone open carry.
you're like,
my God.
It's the
and
fucking
every
Wild West up in here.
yeah, like. I don't know. 2/3 of the Americans are like, hell yeah, and the other ones are like, fuck.
This is scary, dude.
Can we trade
my
all those
God.
guns in for health care? It's like,
yeah.
actually,
man.
your guns are non-refundable.
Fuck.
Yeah. So I
Do
mean,
you
that's
have
cool.
just rapid fire a fucking bill for me? You've got one.
Oh, rapid fire Bill?
Yeah, you got one.
Fuck. If you
Yeah,
have
let's
one,
do it.
go.
I've got
Let me-
one.
let me
Father
think.
John
Go for it.
Misty, Bob Dylan, fucking the band, and Johnny Cash. That's
That's a
mine
good
right
one.
off the top of the dome.
That's a good
yeah,
one.
Yeah, that is a good one.
it's a very Americana bill.
That's
I
like
feel
a very Woodstocky. It's
Yeah.
a very Woodstocky
It'd be
bill.
fucking dope.
All right, Kayla, what's up? What's yours?
Fuck, man. Okay, so I'm gonna
Top of the
do.
dome.
I'm gonna do Modern Baseball Open,
Shit.
Damn. All right.
and
Alright.
I'm still gonna do a Queens of the Stone Age headline.
Okay.
I'm trying to think what my middle bands would be. This is tough.
I don't want to give
Cause
you
see, like
input.
I don't want it to be too close to Jared's, cause like Nirvana would be a big pick for me too.
Yeah.
I mean, it's you could do like, I don't know. You could do like a Hendrix thing. I feel like seeing like the Jimi Hendrix experience would be pretty
Yeah, fuck,
amazing.
that would be good too.
That'd be fucking dirty.
See, like then I'm also thinking like maybe like early '90s Soundgarden, maybe.
Oh, that'd be sick.
Yeah, as my Nirvana sub, let's say that. Let's say like an early '90s Soundgarden.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Dude,
You guys like Mudhoney? Mudhoney was pretty cool back then.
I fucking
too.
mean,
Mudhoney's a band that I never got to, and then I've been instructed many a times that like that's a band I should listen
You should
to.
definitely check 'em
Yeah,
out.
Mudhoney's really good, and I mean they're still playing now, so they must be pretty good, right?
I saw the Melvins a couple years ago.
Damn,
They
I haven't
fucking
seen them
suck.
yet. I want to see them so bad.
Dude, they were not
They
good.
sucked.
It was like upsetting because I was like, dude, this is like the Godfather of grunge, and
Wait,
I
what? They
walked
were
out.
not that good?
Dude, I left. I left
Why?
after like
Dude,
6
I've-
songs. It was not good.
I've never walked out of a concert before.
Yeah, I left.
Was that
During
at
the
Call the
Melvins.
Office with like Butcherettes?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
damn. Butcherettes
walked
are
out of
really
that.
good.
They're
Yeah,
really
we
good.
only walked in for the headliner. I think something happened where Scott and I were doing something before, and then we both showed up, and then Scott left because he felt really sick. Like he was like super pale, and he had to get the hell out of there. And then
Oh,
I stuck
okay.
around for a bit, and then I was like, this sucks. And I just walked out. I was like, man, I feel bad, but at the same time, like, I'm not staying if I don't dig it. But also, like, it's kind of a story. It's like I walked out of a Melvins show. It's kind of crazy.
Okay, I'd go Modern Baseball, Frank Turner, early '90s Soundgarden, Queens of Stone Age.
Nice. That's a good bill.
Man,
That was
Frank
mine.
Turner's on there? Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, fuck yeah, dude. Dude, one of the
Yeah,
best
he's
shows
good.
I saw. I've seen him like a few times, But one of my favorite shows of all time was I saw him at the Danforth, and it was
Nice.
amazing. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
really
I love
fucking
that
good.
venue. I think the Danforth is like
Yeah,
probably
every
one
show
of
I've
my
seen there has
favorites.
been incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
I
got a
haven't been
great
there yet.
stage too. Like I
Yeah,
thought
you guys have played there. That's awesome.
Yeah, we played there once with Pup. Actually, that was last year, like June 8th or 9th with, oh man, who is that with? I don't know, with Pup. And yeah, it was sick. And like what I really liked about that spot is that the whole floor is like slanted. So
Yeah,
like even if you're
that's-
at the front, like you can, or at the back, you can see everything. And like, you know what's really funny though? This is what's really funny about the Danforth is like to get from the seated spot or like the standing spot to backstage, you have to go outside through this whole like alleyway and then
Oh,
like
weird.
go through the door and then go up a bunch of stairs and then you're like there. Cause like this
That's
where you
weird.
go through, there's like all the like dressing rooms and stuff. And we got one dressing room and we were like hanging, but like every time we'd like go out to watch, and then we were watching backstage because we were hanging out with Liam there, and we were just like watching Pup backstage. Oh man, that's probably one of my favorite memories for sure. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's nice when you
I
get to
love
do
that.
stuff like this and you don't like think about things as much
Yeah.
Yeah, you're just
during
in
this
the moment.
time, and then when you start talking about it, you're like, oh yeah, that was really fucking cool.
Yeah.
You're like, oh yeah, and it's weird because it's like everybody that I've met in music that like the bands that I like Cancer Bats and Pup and Flatliners, like they're all like so nice, you know. It's
Yeah.
I haven't met anybody who's just like, yeah, that guy was a dick, I don't want to talk to him again. It's like they're all so nice, and like when they come to town, like you just like get to hang out, and we like go get some dinner or something, or like I try to meet anybody for beers or whatever. But it's just, yeah.
I remember when we opened for Royal Tusk last summer, we were just hanging out outside Music Hall, and they came up to us and like introduced themselves and then hung out with us for like 25 minutes.
Yeah.
And I was
Yo,
like,
that's
how are these
sick.
guys like the coolest fucking dudes of all time?
Yeah.
And because
Yeah,
I'm
that's
like,
cool.
we've opened for like other like bigger bands before, and they like don't give a fuck to talk to you or like
No.
watch your set. So I was just
Yeah.
like, whatever. I wasn't like waiting to talk to Royal Tusk, and they came up to us, and they were like the nicest fucking dudes.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
super
Solid
nice.
parking lot party.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
were really cool guys. And it's always nice to be like, fuck yeah, because then I root for them more. Now I'm like, do you guys
Yeah.
listen to Royal Tusk? They're like the fucking
Yeah.
best
they're
dudes.
they're real dudes. They're sick. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I think it's like
Um.
just don't be a dick. Just
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
be
yeah.
nice. Be a nice guy. Be a nice lady.
Hashtag don't
Be
be
a
a
nice
dick.
person. Be a nice whoever you are.
those jobs
Yeah.
were jokes. All
That's
right. Well,
pretty
this was a long one, but it was good.
Yeah.
There's lots.
Yeah, I
I'm
had
gonna
a
listen
great
back
time.
and take all the notes. Oh,
Thanks for
man. Well,
thanks for having me on. This is sick.
So, I guess the final question, Jared, is: are you and I friends now?
yeah, I think we're pals, bud.
Fuck yeah, man! Right on.
You're still
Hell yeah.
big beef to me though.
I might still call you Big Beef, but now it'll be a term of endearment.
yeah.
That's fair. Also, in my
Okay.
own defense, I've seen Lost Arts probably about 4 or 5
Fuck you! No, you
times.
have not. When,
I actually
dude?
have.
What?
I've seen you 2 or 3 times at Rum Runners.
Really?
And I've seen you
He saw
once
us
at
at
Call
Royal
the
Tusk.
Office.
Well, I know Royal Tusk. That's one show.
No, I saw you before that too. And like I didn't miss your whole set at our show. Also, our show is like a complete for me it was just like so stressful.
Yeah, sorry about the drums that day. That was stressful.
No, it's all good, man. It's all good. But I
Oh
think-
yeah, I forgot about that. That was a
I
whole
was
thing.
at
I
work
saw-
like panicking, knowing you guys were panicking, and I was like, "Oh God, I don't know how to get a hold of this guy."
It's all good. I saw
No,
your first 3 or 4 songs of your set went in 8,
Yeah.
and then I came back and I saw like the last 2 songs.
okay.
So I pretty much saw
Fine.
your whole set, and I like
Okay.
made sure I wasn't fucking around. Like I don't like
Yeah.
that, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
We missed
Okay.
the shout out though. I know that for sure.
Yeah, I think.
Well,
there was
I'm
a-
We missed-
sad now
we
that
missed-
I missed
we
the
missed the
shout
shout
out.
out.
Well, how about this? Well, whenever we can play shows again, we'll do a London show together.
Yeah, that sounds great.
No.
Fuck yeah.
Hell yeah.
Rock and roll.
Rock, bro.
Rock
Rock.
and roll. But it's safe.
All right.
We gotta be safe. Everybody
Safe rock
stay
and
safe
roll.
out there.
You could be
Safe
punk
rock.
rock and be safe.
Yeah.
That's
In like 5 years, we'll bring back Danger Rock.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Let's
All
fucking
right.
bleed.
Everyone fucking kill each other.
All right. Yeah, cool, man. Well, this was like a ton of fun. We'll stop recording and then we can say goodbye on the phone.
Yeah,
or
that
whatever.
sounds great.
But,
Hey, thanks
yeah,
so much for having me
doing this,
on.
man.
Yeah, this has been great.